We are live. Hello, everyone. Holly in Seattle.
Ophi in New York. Happy Equinox.
Almost Equinox. Yeah.
Yep, fall equinox time. We're just going to let everyone come on here. And as you join us, tell us where you are and your zodiac sign.
Yes. So we are the AstroTwins.
Holly in Seattle.
Yep. Sophie's got to get her Facebook all muted up there. So for those of you who don't know us, we are identical twins, as you can see, and astrologers for astrostyle.com, L.com Parade. We write for Monster, and we've been doing this for a long time. So I'm sure we have a lot of our old friends on here with us too. Ophi, you want to see who's coming in? And
Yep, and hey, Rachel and Gay and Alexander, Vanessa, Brenda. Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Los Angeles, India, Pavitra, awesome. Seattle, Mexico. I love it. Yeah, so some of you guys are on for the first time possibly, and just we're so glad you're here if this is your first ritual or live stream. And some of you guys are our beloved veterans who've done classes with us and have bought our books, and we have our 2020, let me make sure this is on the camera, our 2020 horoscope guide getting ready to come out. This is just a mock-up. It's out officially 11/11, but we're going to give you guys a link for pre-ordering that as well if you want to plan your year by the planets. But
we know you do, so
we know you do. It's what we love to do. Oh, hello, Vanessa's from Delaware, Cindy from Pennsylvania, Tamara from Oklahoma, Casey.
So while Ophi's welcoming everyone, you may or may not have the supplies ready. So we're doing this a few days in advance of the equinox because we know that some of you will probably watch along or maybe do it again with friends on Monday, which is the day of the actual equinox when Libra season begins. But what you need, I added a little extra cake platter here just to make it look like a Libra scale. But what you actually need, and feel free to do the same. Anthropology has a sale. That's all I have to say. But 2 bowls or cups, things that you don't mind not using for a little while, because you can actually leave this setup all, as an ongoing ritual. We're just going to start it now. I have a little jar with some coins. I've got pennies and dimes. Ophi told me that she heard somewhere that spirits will leave you pennies and dimes, and she finds a lot of pennies from Seymour, her departed dachshund, and dimes from other friends.
That. It's not just me. It's like a lot of people have said that if you Google it, it's a whole thing that, one of the ways that your spirit guides and departed loved ones communicate is by leaving you pennies and dimes, and if you find them randomly in places. So I've become a believer in that.
I know you do find them in all the most fascinating places at very pivotal moments. These are going to go inside of the jars as we lead you through the ritual. If you don't want to use coins, you can use something else, flower petals. If you have a pile of little mini crystals, whatever it is, you just want to have about 10 or 12 things that you can put in as symbolic representation. You'll need a notebook and a pen. So feel free to gather those things up and just listen along. We're going to talk a bit about what we're doing today. So, the equinox always begins with Libra season. Around September 22nd or 23rd every year. It's the fall equinox for those of us up here in the northern hemisphere. We have a lot of Australians, New Zealanders, people down under who are for you, you're so lucky. It's spring for you, my favorite season.
It's like I need to spend my year and half and half because I'm not a weather. I don't know about anybody else. And happy birthday to you, Nikki, by the way. I see a couple people are saying they had to.
Oh, cool. We've got some Virgo.
Another one. Yeah. So Virgo, Libra, Cuspers, happy birthday to you. You're born around the equinox, so you know of what Tali speaks. So
balancing. Well, this is a time for balance. So it's no surprise that Libra is the sun sign that is ruling the skies during the equinox, because it's a sign of the scales, and this is a time where the day and night are fairly close to equal. I say the sun and moon are sharing equal screen time. So it's where we're wanting to bring all these aspects of our life into a greater sense of harmony and peace and equilibrium. It's been a pretty intense summer. We had some July ever since. So the last ritual we did, and lots of you were with us, was for the summer solstice. So this is kind of a quarterly review in between the summer solstice and the winter solstice. It literally is the halfway point in between those. So both of those, the summer solstice and the winter solstice this year, will be very close to eclipses that are happening on the Cancer Capricorn axis. So that's stirring up a lot of emotional energy that we're still rolling through from the summer, as well as this like drive to achieve our goals from the Capricorn energy. We had Mercury retrograde in July, and emotional Cancer. A lot of people are still trying to kind of find their center again since that swept through. And this weekend, right before the equinox, is a Jupiter-Neptune square, the last of 3 in 2019. These complex squares, these 90-degree angles between Jupiter, which is all about expansion and growth and truth, and Neptune, which is about illusion and deep feelings of subconscious mind. So we had one on January 13th, June 16th, and this final one on Saturday, tomorrow. So sorry, I've got a little
Jupiter. I'll pick up the one advantage of being twins, so we can finish each other's sentences.
Finish my sentence.
So Jupiter is the illuminator and the truth teller, and fog and illusion, like Tali just said. So we're having like this ultra magnifier of honesty, and this Neptune, like, is this the real thing or is it just a fantasy? Get a little Queen in there, Bohemian Rhapsody in there. So we may be overreacting to some things that we think are happening, or we may be seeing things as they are. Finally, it could. I don't know if anybody's been experiencing that in the last week to 10 days. It's like hyper reality, and like really just like, okay, I'm calling BS on this and done. Or just, God, why did I have such a strong reaction? It's really been from June through October that the Jupiter-Neptune square dance has been going on. So if your emotions are all over the map and your reactions, that is one of the reasons why. So
yeah, so we're definitely in need of some balance. And then, so as that closes out, on the other side of the equinox, we're moving towards, and Ophi's going to tell you all about it in a minute, the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. Some of you have heard of it, some of you haven't, and we wrote all about it in the 2020 horoscope guide. So you'll definitely want to read about how that's going to shape your entire year. It's really setting off the year. So January 12th, Saturn and Pluto come together. They meet at the exact same degree of Capricorn in the sky. This happens they'll meet in a particular sign every 35 to 38 years, combining their energy. And we'll tell you what that means in a minute. They haven't been together in Capricorn since 1518 AD. So this is a major event. Jupiter is also going to be in Capricorn. So we really want to help you guys. And this ritual is designed to help you balance. What's going to start to really intensify is the energy of both Saturn and Pluto. So Ophi, do you want to flow a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So Saturn and Pluto, they've both been in Capricorn for a while. Pluto since November 2008, and it's going to be there till 2024. So 3 election cycles exactly. So it's
Think
a
about that.
nail biter, and Capricorn does happen to rule governments, and so we're seeing so much Pluto sort of tear down, rebuild, transformation there. And Saturn has been in Capricorn since December 2017. It's going to be there until December 2019. A brief break from
December 2020.
so, 2020. Sorry, I've only been working on the 2020 book, writing about it and editing it. But dates are all over the place because of that. I'm like, what year is it? So until December 2020. We're going to have it on and off next year. So, they've been inching closer and closer together. And in astrology, when two planets in the sky or in your chart are close together, that means they're blending their energy. And just like people, when energies blend, if they have good chemistry, it can be great. But if they're very different, the closer they are in proximity and sharing space, the more they're going to have to work out some of their differences. So Saturn is the ruler of all things tangible, real, that take form and shape, the material world. And Pluto is, as you probably know from mythology, the god of the underworld. So we have, they have a few things in common in that both planets are obsessed with power and wealth and status, according to some legends. But both are associated in different legends with karma, although in different ways. I think Saturn is more like when you're Saturn rules time. So it's like what you did in the past can come around to materialize into form, whereas Pluto is this sort of hidden feeling that there's this fate or this other force operating below the surface. So, but to have both of them together, merging their energies, means we're going to feel both of their impact at once. But they have some very important differences, and this ritual is designed to help you balance those differences out. It goes very well with Libra season and the equinox feeling of balance, because Saturn loves to build and Pluto loves to tear things down in the name of transformation. So, for the rest of the year, what our real big mission is going to be is to really grapple with what we want to keep constructing and what has to go. Or transform or change into a new form or evolve. So it's really extreme makeover energy going on here. And the way to stay balanced, which we're going to do through this ritual, is to honor both of those energies simultaneously. And that's what we're going to take you through now. So just to give you an idea of the contrast of Pluto. So Saturn, like I said, governs material plane, things that we can touch and taste and see. And Pluto reigns over the invisible realm. So those are the things that we can't see, but we sense they're there. So to have that, like, I think I see this, but then I feel like there's something else going on below the surface. Anybody already feeling that? Because they're circling quite close together. We've already been feeling them kind of coming near each other over the summer.
And they'll be like the most intense phase of that is from December 2019 through February 2020, and the exact moment is on January 12th. Now, does that mean that on January 12th, all of a sudden you're gonna send a wrecking ball through an area of life and then call in the contractors? No, it doesn't always happen on that very day at that very moment. We're already in the energy of it. We've been in and out of it through a lot of this year because the two planets are close enough together, Saturn and Pluto, to where it's almost like they're already on the same elevator ride, and we're not sure if they're going up or down, So, they can, it's a lot like, Saturn's like the cosmic inspector and Pluto is like the cellar dweller. So it's like, let's turn on the lights, see what's in these hidden places and really deal with it. It's an opportunity, and it's not one that we as humans often, readily embrace, unless maybe you're a Virgo or who loves to do that anyways, although I do find Virgos have some messy hoarding habits sometimes too. You like to collect, so um,
And
anyway,
sometimes collectibles
but
are
I digress. But I digress. Yes,
Saturn, just to go through a few more of the differences.
yeah, let's do it. Go for it.
Saturn helps to be practical and rational, and it really gets its results, moves the needle. It's like when you want #goals, you turn to Saturn. Pluto makes us passionate and spiritual and also sexual, or it's like that erotic life force, sexual energy, any kind of just that swirling kind of feeling. So it can make us do things that seem irrational, but wind up being magical too. So with Pluto, you have the sense that you're being guided by some higher force, where Saturn's like, all right, I don't really want to do this, but I know I have to, because if I don't do this, it's never going to get done. Saturn likes praise and status and public accolades and to be rewarded for a job well done. And Pluto can make us secretive, even a little sneaky. It governs the things that we hide. Saturn helps us build support structures, and Pluto is destructive and tears things down that no longer serve us, so we can have a transformation. So just imagine we're figuring out, we're balancing what goes in that bucket, what goes in that bucket. Saturn makes us disciplined. Pluto governs our shadow and the things that we deny about ourselves or even project onto other people. Saturn demands proof in order to believe something. Pluto operates on intuition and animal instinct. So Saturn is the seeing is believing, and Pluto is the believing is seeing. I like to say, I've seen that sort of a bumper thing. So they have their differences. So this ritual that Tali's going to guide you through now is how to work that out in your life. How do we bring the stuff that's hidden in the shadows to like little Lulu, my dachshund back there. We always have to have a dachshund. For those of you guys who haven't been with us in a live, there's usually a dachshund in every one of them, at least one.
Lux stayed at home today because he's prone to barking mid live stream. So,
Lux is her 1-year-old puppy. Lulu's my 12-year-old puppy. So she tends to be a little more chill. Let's hope she stays that way. So, so Tali is going to.
Let's move into the ritual. I was thinking it'd be kind of fun to pull an animal spirit card in advance. Just sometimes, I always like to do that because it just adds an extra little layer, a little message. So I'm tuning into the group and I'm gonna pull one, and it may or may not make sense to us, but we are going to work with a particular card, and I feel this one coming. Use my Pluto instincts, and we got the bee. Okay. Let's see what this. I'm going to read the description here. It's glasses time for me.
Now I keep taking mine on and off.
I know.
I had to get the real glasses.
Now, what can we do?
Shield every time I see him.
After writing for 18 years, okay, so the bee, earnest, hardworking, and democratic. Sounds like Saturn.
Very Saturnian.
The bee personality is a delight to be around, especially when there's a team project on the horizon. Bees love to work steadily and thoughtfully until the final task is complete. They are sensitive creatures, aware of many subtleties at once, since they're artists at heart. They really are. They usually add creative details to the overall vision. For the most part, they have bustling, joyous personalities until they're too tired from all the work. Then they gripe and then sting. Now that sounds like Pluto. Hilarious. I did not pre-select this card, I swear. So when in balance, they're content, active, and vibrant. When out of balance, overworked and annoyed. To bring into balance, I love that they're already talking about balance in here. A mini vacation is needed. I'll take it. Okay. Where am I going this week?
Where are we going? The underworld to visit for 6 months. That's very Equinox too, because if you think about it, like Pluto was, Persephone was with Pluto 6 months of the year, and we have the fall equinox. The 6 months.
This is the time. This is his kidnapping hour, isn't it? Right when the fall occurs for us up here, at least. So
kidnap me and take me below the equator where it's going to be summer.
That'll be a good mini vacation.
Feel free. I'm available for
Anyone in Sydney have an extra space for us? We're coming over. Yeah. I love Sydney. Oh my God. Take me to a terrace house. So, okay, ritual time, getting B mode, and take out your notebook
Yeah, so
and
to
turn to a
really
clean
start
page.
this, to start the ritual, the first thing you really want to do is pick an area of your life where you feel out of balance, an area that you want to bring balance to. And it should be something that you feel like you really want to work on before the end of the year or the end of the decade, which is also the end of the year. So what's something, it doesn't have to be like humongous and impossible, but just some part of, I think I'm off the camera.
Yeah, that's Ophi talking. It's not the great and powerful Oz, but whatever.
We're doing this so that Tali can do the ritual and I don't interrupt. Um, but yeah, some area of your life that you feel like, this is out of balance. I'm either too much in one direction or not the other. And then yes, take out your notebook, or if you have one. And again, you can just watch along today if you want. And then if you want to actually do this or do it again, there's no limit on how many times you can do a ritual, but it's if you want to do it again on the equinox on Monday, the 23rd, feel free. Tali's going to ask a series of questions and you can answer them by writing them down. And just so you know, this live stream will be available 24/7 after for replay on our Facebook page. So you're not going to lose this after. If you want to do it later, you can follow along. Some of you guys are at work, I know. So, all right, take it away, Tali.
Yeah, sorry about all my coughing, guys. I think in advance, I overdid it with the Virgo energy. There's like 5 planets in Virgo over the last couple weeks, and my body was like, no mas. I'm putting you down with a mini flu. So it's been a kind of a week of that. So a little residual coughing. So take out your notebook, turn to a clean page. And I just want to show you what I've done. So this is my Saturn jar here, and this is my Pluto jar, okay? And so this ritual is going to show you a new method for working through these imbalanced areas of life with the forces of both Saturn and Pluto. So anything you're going to work on, you're going to tend to both of them. And I also like to call this putting some soul into your goals, because although Pluto gets a bad rap for being kind of sinister, I think Pluto is very spiritual, very soulful, very creative and magnetic. It's a ruler of Scorpio, while Saturn's a ruler of Capricorn, which is also a creative force. It's just a little more pragmatic and purpose driven in its creativity. So as we go through the series of questions, we're going to tune into both Saturn and Pluto. And so when you answer a Saturn question, and I'll tell you what that is, let me get my coins out. You're going to put a coin in the Saturn jar, and then you're going to, oh, well, that's imbalanced. So now it's time for a Pluto question. And then when you answer that, you're going to put the coin in the Pluto jar and so on. So the series of questions is all around an area of life that's out of balance. When I was I had about 5 of them that I could think of immediately, from the most basic to like, okay, my office feels really cluttered and my backyard is full of tree branches and I'm kind of stuck, but I don't, to like bigger things like, I have some larger financial goals to work out, or I want to maybe travel for a few months. How will I do that and keep on top of work? So it can be anything like that. It could be a relationship that's important to you that just feels a little bit off right now, or maybe one that you feel like is missing from your life. Like, I would like to have this, I feel all alone with this, okay? So get your area, and we're going to begin with that very first question. What is out of balance in my life? Write it down and put a coin in for Saturn, okay? I think you've probably all got your area now because we've said that about 3 times. So we're going to go into Pluto. What emotions come up for me around this? So write those down in your notebook. What emotions, what are you feeling when you think about this area? Put your coin in for Pluto, because you're really tending. It's it's important to note that sometimes we get into this, I'm just going to do it, positive thinking mode, and we don't tend to the feelings that might be there. Maybe there's a fear of failure, maybe there's a sadness, maybe there's excitement, maybe there's this like buzz of the unknown or a little anxiousness. It doesn't have to be a negative feeling, but just acknowledging, like, sometimes I know some people, like, maybe you've been hurt in relationships and you're like, I feel like my love life is out of balance. You don't want to admit that you're kind of psyched about this person you just met because, oh my God, what if it doesn't work out? Write it down. I'm excited. I hope it works out. Okay. Pluto's all that stuff you hide and stuff down, or maybe don't even know that you are. Okay. So Saturn helps to bring the unconsciousness of Pluto into consciousness so you can actually work with it, enjoy it. Okay. I'll give you another minute to just write about that. I hate waiting for these. I never know the right timing on it, but the pregnant pause on Facebook. So now to Saturn. Very practical questions for you here. Do I know anyone who could help me figure this out? And if money were no object, what professional support could I enlist? Okay. So let's think about that. Write that down and put a coin in your Saturn jar when you do.
If it's not professional support, maybe it's someone who's Saturn can rule people who are older or wiser or more experienced.
Mentor.
So if it's maybe a personal or a relationship thing, sort of a wise, non-judgmental kind of person that will tell you what you need to hear, but yes, but will also be kind and understanding.
Or someone who's already been there, done that, like, do you have a friend who has an awesome relationship track record? Well, maybe you ask them, what's your secret sauce? What do you do? What makes it work? Or maybe there's, maybe I need to take an hour or two with a space designer. There's so many things that if you look around, there are people who can help. And no, you don't need to pay for it. But also sometimes I think with Saturn and Pluto, they can tend to grip onto finances, both of them, because, Pluto's a bit of a money hoarder and Saturn's like very prudent. And sometimes the DIYing route can be more expensive. That's a lesson we've learned quite a few times. Can be more expensive than just hiring someone who knows how to do it and can come in and boom, boom, boom. So think about that too. Are you maybe being like penny wise and pound foolish and trying to do it yourself when you actually could save money by having some professional help, or save time? Saturn loves when you save time. Okay, Pluto question for you. What am I afraid I'll never figure out? Okay, what is that? So let's put our coin in for Pluto. What's that thing are you afraid? Are you afraid you'll never figure out how to be successful in love and make it last for longer than 90 days? Are you afraid you'll never get your backyard looking like the oasis you envisioned from your Pinterest boards? Are you afraid you're never going to really be happy at work or find the thing you love? So let's acknowledge that those fears are there. If you don't name them and claim them, they'll have you in their grips and suck you into Pluto's underworld. Okay.
I like how I came back into the frame for Saturn and then disappeared with Pluto. That was kind of funny. I'm still here, guys, speaking from the underworld.
Okay, so what's that thing you're afraid you'll never figure out? Write it down. We got a few more questions. So Saturn, very practical question. What's one small action that I can take today? Okay, I could ask a friend whose yard was landscaped for that person's number. I could have a friend take a picture for, a dating app profile. What's one small, very real, actionable thing you can do today? Okay. And then Pluto, what scares me about that? See how we're doing this? It's almost like the conversation that you call to the friend that you can stream of conscious flow with, like, oh my God, I'm going to do that. Oh, but blah, 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 blah. Oh, but I could do this. Oh God, but this could happen. Oh, how many of us have had those? I mean, the two of us have had lots of those. We drive each other nuts with them sometimes. But
I'm like, I cannot hear about this anymore.
but it's that kind of that back and forth is getting amplified by Saturn's going to bring up those solutions and Pluto's going to bring up the fears. And this ritual is all about bringing them all to light so you can just deal with all of it. It's not one or the other. They're just constantly going to be on that scale balancing against each other. Okay. So what scares me about that? That was our Pluto question. Saturn, who can cheer me on when I get stuck or fearful? Maybe this is someone who hasn't conquered that. Who's your wing person for this mission that you're going to bring into balance? That person who just always sees the best in you or believes in you, and they're not going to BS you, but they're going to be like an accountability buddy who's like, you can do this. Okay, write that person's name down or people's names down. And then let's get into the positive part of Pluto. What inspires me about working on this? I'm inspired by the idea of coming into my office and having this one corner all opened up so I can sit and put a chair back in there and read by the window, or having my backyard have a garden in it next year. That inspires me deeply. And Saturn, what results would be possible if I brought this back into balance? Boom for Saturn. What results would be possible for you?
Saturn is goal oriented. I would say sort of like, you could even frame it like, what would I be able to do if that was there? Like for Tali having a garden, she'd be able to maybe host more parties and network or spend quality time with friends to balance out all the hard work she does. Or the chair in the corner, she could read all these books about topics that she wants to learn more about. And thanks for bringing me back on. And and I don't mind speaking from Pluto though, but she could learn things and feel more proactive or less stressed out about things that she doesn't know, and feel the relaxation of being informed by whatever book she read. So there are real tangible results that we don't think about until we look at it through this framework. So
I actually added a couple more questions today, so you may actually need to go get a couple more coins, because these are just and in fact I'll have to make up one more to get Pluto into balance with it. But here's a Pluto question for you right here, right now. What can I do today to nourish my spirit? What can I do today? So that's something like booking a massage, maybe meeting friends for, yoga or sound bath or a walk, or, setting up an altar for this equinox ritual, or picking out a new crystal, or hanging out with someone who gives great advice tonight, or going dancing, whatever that is, something that's more sensual, less tangible. And then the question for Saturn, being very material plane, what can I do today to nourish my body? Okay, so maybe it's lunchtime almost here on the West Coast. I'm going to go make myself a really beautiful salad. I actually did grow a little kale in the backyard this year, so maybe I'll use some of that. Or, again, or maybe I will walk on an errand instead of driving so I can move some energy around. Or just get a good night's sleep instead of pushing myself to go to that event when I'm truly exhausted. Okay. And what's a good last Pluto question for people, Ophi? Saturn's got one extra coin.
I would like, and I like it. Saturn tends to overthink and overplan, where Pluto is at raw instinct. So you might say, like, you could do like, hey, what do my guides want me to know? And just write the first thing down. Or if you don't
that's a great idea.
Guides, you could say, what's my intuition telling me? Boom, write, don't think.
Yep. Perfect. I've got a dime for that.
Yeah. And this is you can use coins, or you can use crystals, or you can use leaves or flower petals, or anything that you feel connected to personally. Coins we chose also because Capricorn, and it's very money oriented as well. So yeah,
it's kind of like making a deposit in your own, and an investment in yourself. So after you may want to go back and review the questions. After you do, I recommend you could tear the page out of your notebook and slip it underneath your jars and kind of let it sit under there for a while till the end of the equinox. If you want to save it, you can. Some people like to burn their pages and release them to the universe. Now, this is something you could do. You may throughout the weekend want to. You may think of other areas that are out of balance and want to rewatch this and run through the questions again. So I'll read them one more time, just like without a break in them, just so you have them for yourself. Okay?
And you can bring me back on too, Corey.
Yeah. Bring Ophi on back. So first, Saturn, what's out of balance in my life? Then Pluto, what emotions come up for me around this? Saturn, do I know anyone who could help me figure this out? If money were no object, what professional support could I enlist? Or is there someone older and wiser who might step in? Okay, then Pluto, what am I afraid I'll never figure out? What's that fear that I have? Saturn, what's one small action I can take today? Pluto, what scares me about that? Saturn, who can cheer me on when I get stuck or fearful? Who's my accountability buddy? Pluto, what inspires me about working on this? Saturn, what results would be possible if I brought this into balance? Pluto, what can I do today to nourish my spirit, my soul? And Saturn, what can I do today to nourish my body? Lastly, from Pluto, what do my spirit guides have to say, or my intuition? What does my intuition have to say about this? Write it, don't think.
Yeah.
Okay. So
now we have a lot. I'm going to hold up our lovely book, and I'm going to, in the comments, post the link to pre-order on Amazon if you want to be first in line to get the paperback copy for the holidays. It's our 2020 horoscope guide, and we have in great detail for every sign what the Saturn-Pluto conjunction is going to mean for you and your year. And we have a whole section about what it's going to mean for the world too, and how to navigate it. Very important to know. Gosh, I want to cover up that corner of the apartment that's peeling. Sorry, I see Saturn and Pluto in the wall there behind me. But yeah,
please position yourself to hide
exactly
Plutonian decay of the New York City apartment.
Yeah. I can see what area I need to do an equinox ritual on right there.
I'll be the
now. But yeah, so the link is in the comments if you want to learn about how to really work with these energies specifically for your sun sign or someone important to you. And we will be having it as a PDF on our site coming out in October too. That well, that was a good dance there, Tali. But some of you guys want the paperback and you like to write in it and highlight it and put the dates in your calendar, as we've heard from many of you guys. So
we're kind of throwing up a little calendar kit add-on for this. If we can put hopefully get that, and I think we can actually. There's been a demand for the ability to just have little prompts for the hotspot dates for those of you who are our regular A lot of you plan your life by the planets like us, and we have basically the whole year mapped out for you there. So this, it's a we will have some kind of solution that allows those dates to sync up with your phone, and maybe even a spiral bound quickie companion guide for it. So stay tuned on that. We've been doing some deep diving work, all of our astropreneurs, for those of you who are with us in our summer camp program. Yeah, and if you don't know what that is, we actually are teaching regular classes on using astrology for success, and in any area of life that you want to create results in a heart-centered, soul-centered way. We are here for you with that, but we're developing sort of a longer, bigger package with that, and we're going to be announcing that soon. But it takes a lot of creative thinking, a lot of bee work, as going on here. As our friendly animal spirit card has had to say. I'm going to put him right here in front of the Saturn and Pluto dishes, if he'll stay. Yes. So yeah, so we will be having some more fun things to kind of work alongside the book. But this is your ultimate guide, and it's in paperback, available right now on Amazon with the link. We'll have a
We're
digital.
gonna have a few live events too. So we know of one for sure on December 4th in New York City at Rizzoli Books. We'll be announcing that, all the book stuff early October, and that. But as we make our way around to different cities, we would love to meet some of you guys in person too. So we hope if you're around, you'll come out. We've already gotten to meet some of you at various events, and it's always just so great. So.
It is.
So please go forth and be a balanced bee, a little busy bee. That bee is a worker bee, the worker bee of Saturn, making honey like Pluto there, and getting into that hive and making your magic. So
absolutely. So thanks everyone for joining us today. Corey, if you want to hit end broadcast in a minute when we say bye. Aries husband, right hand man helping out here. So I don't know. Were there any things in the comments we wanted to answer, or should we just keep
I
it
don't see any questions, except I've added a link for joining our mailing list in the comments for those of you who want to find out about our Astrology of Success program. We are working on a fall program that we're going to announce new dates for. It was going to start September 23rd, but we are taking a little extra time to perfect it. So Saturn, Pluto for us.
Yes, yes.
And if you're on the list, you'll also get any book tour dates for 2020 and appearance dates. And a couple people wanted to find out where Saturn and Pluto are in their charts. So, which is actually really important for anyone who's born in 1989, 90, 91. You're in your Saturn return. Most likely you were born when Saturn was last in Capricorn. So you definitely are going to be experiencing a lot of metamorphosis this year. But
our book explains where it is in your solar chart, which is very important to know. And then if you want to do it very specifically in your natal chart, stay tuned. Just get on our list, because we're going to be doing more with that.
But I just put a link in the comments for where to do a free birth chart, so you can find all the signs in yours. So,
and what degree are they meeting at again? Is it 22 degrees 46 minutes? So if you find that, is it 22? Oh my gosh, I'm having a little mental block, but I think so. 22 degrees 46 minutes Capricorn. So just find 22 degrees Capricorn on your,
I'm not sure,
on your charts, and you'll know where they're meeting. Just go find that.
Yes,
we'll explain how.
Thank you, Heather. Love you guys too, and it was great, Alana and Martika. And
cool. I'm not by my computer, so I can't see. We have the fan.
Yeah, I'm seeing all the comments
over here. So hi to everyone, and bye to everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. Equinox. Moving through that Jupiter-Neptune square, I would suggest major relaxing spa day, sleeping in, tuning out as much as you possibly can. So, yep.
Really get yourself rebalanced. So, all right.
Creative
See
time.
you
All
guys
right.
soon. Great.
Bye.
Bye.
To hit it again. Hit it again, Corey.